The inspector's ruling has implications for disconnects, indicating they cannot be located inside or on rooftop heat or air conditioning units. The requirement for disconnects to be considered readily accessible necessitates access without tools. The inspector considers removing screws to access the breakers in the control box as making them inaccessible. Furthermore, disconnects are not permitted on any panels of a unit that can be removed for repairs. This presents challenges for electricians. Electricians must now install disconnects in a separate enclosure located outside of the unit itself. This new requirement may increase both cost and complexity of the installation procedure. Also, it might restrict the available options for disconnect placement, especially on smaller rooftops where space is limited. Next steps involve electricians collaborating with inspectors to gain a thorough understanding of the specific requirements and to formulate practical solutions. Consider utilizing surface-mounted or weather-resistant enclosures to house the disconnects externally to the unit. Investigate the potential of using remote disconnects, which can be operated from a distance, thus eliminating the need to directly access the unit. According to the 2008 National Electrical Code, Article 100 defines readily accessible as capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to climb over or remove obstacles or to resort to portable ladders, and so forth. This definition is crucial in understanding the inspector's perspective. The code emphasizes unobstructed access to electrical components for operational and safety reasons. The requirement for readily accessible disconnects is primarily driven by safety concerns. In emergency situations such as a fire or electrical malfunction, it is essential to quickly energize the equipment to prevent further hazards. A readily accessible disconnect allows first responders or maintenance personnel to rapidly cut off power to the HVAC unit without having to search for tools or navigate complex procedures. The inspector's interpretation of readily accessible hinges on the need for immediate access without tools. The presence of screws, even if easily removable, introduces a delay and potential obstacle that contradicts the intent of the code. This interpretation aligns with the principle of minimizing any impediment to accessing critical safety components. The ruling also addresses concerns about the potential for panels to be removed during repairs. If a disconnect is located on a removable panel, it could be inadvertently disconnected or rendered inoperable during maintenance activities. By prohibiting disconnects on removable panels, the inspector aims to ensure that the disconnect remains functional and accessible at all times. The impact of this ruling on electricians in Washington is significant. Firstly, it necessitates a change in installation practices. Electricians must now plan for and install separate enclosures for disconnects, adding to the overall cost and time required for each project. Secondly, it introduces new challenges in terms of finding suitable locations for disconnects, especially on rooftops with limited space or complex layouts. The need to install disconnects in a separate enclosure may also affect the aesthetics of the installation. Electricians must carefully consider the placement of the enclosure to minimize its visual impact and ensure that it blends in with the surrounding environment. Despite the challenges, there are several strategies that electricians can employ to comply with the new requirements. Firstly, they can explore the use of surface-mounted enclosures, which are designed to be installed directly on the exterior of the building or equipment. These enclosures are typically weather-resistant and provide a secure housing for the disconnect. Secondly, electricians can consider using remote disconnects, which allow the disconnect to be operated from a distance. These disconnects are typically controlled by a switch or button located in a readily accessible location, such as inside the building or near the entrance to the rooftop. Thirdly, electricians can work closely with inspectors to develop practical solutions that meet the specific needs of each project. By collaborating and communicating effectively, electricians can ensure that their installations comply with the code while minimizing any potential disruptions or delays. In addition to these strategies, electricians should also stay up to date on any changes or interpretations of the code. Electrical codes are constantly evolving, and it is important to remain informed about the latest requirements and best practices. Electricians can attend industry training courses, read trade publications, and participate in online forums to stay abreast of the latest developments. By taking a proactive approach to education and training, electricians can ensure that they are always prepared to meet the challenges of the electrical industry. In summary, the inspector's ruling on readily accessible disconnects for rooftop HVAC units in Washington has significant implications for electricians. It requires them to change their installation practices, find new locations for disconnects, and stay up to date on the latest code requirements. By understanding the rationale behind the ruling and working collaboratively with inspectors, electricians can overcome these challenges and continue to provide safe and reliable electrical installations. Considering specific sections of the 2008 National Electrical Code, while this answer does not provide specific section numbers, the core issue revolves around Article 100's definition of readily accessible and its implications for disconnect placement. Relevant sections could include those addressing disconnect requirements for air conditioning and refrigeration equipment potentially found in Article 440 and general requirements for disconnects in Article 430 for motors and related equipment, as HVAC units often incorporate motors. Additionally, Article 314, dealing with junction boxes, pull boxes, and handle enclosures, might be relevant when considering the installation of separate enclosures for the disconnects. It's crucial to consult the actual code book to identify the exact sections applicable to the specific installation scenario. The inspector's focus on tool-less access aligns with the intent of ensuring quick and safe energization in emergency situations. The prohibition of disconnects on removable panels addresses a potential safety hazard where the disconnect could be unintentionally disabled during maintenance. The ruling emphasizes the importance of a permanently accessible and functional disconnect. The requirement for electricians to install separate enclosures will likely involve additional costs for materials and labor. Careful planning is necessary to determine suitable enclosure locations, considering factors such as weather protection, accessibility, and aesthetics. Remote disconnects offer a potential solution for situations where a separate enclosure is impractical. These devices allow for remote operation of the disconnect, eliminating the need for direct access to the unit itself. Collaboration with inspectors is essential to ensure that the chosen solution meets the code requirements and addresses any specific concerns. Continuous learning and professional development are crucial for electricians to stay informed about code changes and best practices. Staying updated on industry standards and participating in training programs will enable electricians to adapt to evolving regulations and maintain a high level of competency. The implications of this ruling extend beyond individual installations, potentially influencing future code revisions and industry practices. As inspectors and electricians gain experience with the new requirements, they may identify areas for improvement or clarification in the code. This feedback can contribute to a more robust and practical regulatory framework for electrical installations. The increased emphasis on readily accessible disconnects reflects a growing awareness of safety concerns in the electrical industry. By prioritizing safety and adhering to code requirements, electricians can help protect themselves, their clients, and the public from electrical hazards. The need for separate enclosures may also lead to the development of new products and technologies. Manufacturers may design enclosures specifically tailored for rooftop HVAC disconnects, incorporating features such as weather resistance, tamper resistance, and ease of installation. This innovation can further improve the safety and efficiency of electrical installations. The ruling highlights the importance of communication and collaboration between electricians and inspectors. By establishing a strong working relationship, electricians can ensure that their installations meet the code requirements and address any potential concerns. This collaborative approach fosters a culture of safety and promotes excellence in the electrical industry. The specific type of HVAC unit involved may also influence the application of the ruling. For example, the requirements for a small residential unit may differ from those for a large commercial unit. Electricians should carefully consider the specific characteristics of the equipment when planning their installations. The location of the rooftop unit may also affect the choice of disconnect location. Units located in areas with high winds or heavy snowfall may require additional weather protection for the disconnect enclosure. Electricians should take these environmental factors into account when selecting and installing disconnects. The ruling underscores the importance of proper grounding and bonding in electrical installations. A properly grounded and bonded system helps to minimize the risk of electrical shock and ensures the safe operation of equipment. Electricians should carefully follow the code requirements for grounding and bonding to ensure the safety of their installations. The use of appropriate overcurrent protection is also essential for preventing electrical hazards. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of electricity in the event of a fault. Electricians should select and install overcurrent protection devices that are properly sized for the circuit and equipment they are protecting. Regular inspection and maintenance of electrical installations are crucial for ensuring their continued safety and reliability. Electricians should conduct periodic inspections to identify and correct any potential problems. They should also perform routine maintenance tasks such as tightening connections and replacing worn components to prevent equipment failures. The ruling emphasizes the importance of documentation and record keeping in electrical installations. Electricians should maintain accurate records of all work performed, including the location of disconnects, the size of conductors, and the ratings of overcurrent protection devices. These records can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. The ruling also highlights the importance of ongoing training and education for electricians. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, and electricians must stay up to date on the latest code requirements, technologies, and best practices. Continuing education courses, industry conferences, and online resources can help electricians to maintain their skills and knowledge. The requirement for readily accessible disconnects is not unique to Washington State. Many jurisdictions have similar requirements in their electrical codes. Electricians who work in multiple jurisdictions should be familiar with the specific requirements of each jurisdiction. The ruling reflects a growing trend toward increased safety and accountability in the electrical industry. As the industry becomes more complex and technologically advanced, it is increasingly important for electricians to adhere to the highest standards of safety and professionalism. The ruling serves as a reminder that electrical work is a serious responsibility. Electricians must be diligent, knowledgeable, and committed to safety to ensure the well-being of themselves and the public. The ruling also underscores the importance of ethical conduct in the electrical industry. Electricians should always act with integrity and honesty, and they should never compromise safety for the sake of convenience or profit. The ruling is a testament to the importance of collaboration between regulators and industry professionals. By working together, regulators and industry professionals can create a safe and efficient electrical system that benefits everyone.